So we have the Emperor. This is someone that's in charge of an empire. Obviously, when you consider the emperor along with in contrast to the other kings, while the kings do hold a kingdom, they hold a section that they are in charge of and that they're crowned. The emperor, the emperor is a master of all the suits. As we can see here, he's also in charge of enlightenment. So swords energy, it can be a very hard energy. It can be also an emperor in the shadow, can be seen as a tyrant. But this someone who is comfortable with beginnings and endings, as we see, and this is also kind of giving me the Hamlet with him holding a skull. This is someone that has visions for his kingdom because he needs to as the emperor. And also what's been discussed, what's been said of the emperor is that person who holds the emperor is someone, because you can see he's wearing the soldier. So this is someone that's fought the fight to get the crown. So they know the path of the soldier. They know the path of, in order to be an emperor, you have to walk the path in order to get to that enlightenment, in order to hold the kingdom, in order to hold the crown, in order to be the bearer of the crown. I'm also getting that you need to, it's like in order to guide, you also need to have fallen. So the emperor knows that in order to have it all, one must lose. And that's what I'm getting with the skull, holding the skull, sacrifices. But the crown and the third eye and the sword is telling me that this is all through enlightenment. And there are sacrifices that need to be made in order to get to enlightenment. The emperor can be seen as a very hard person because in typical tarot, he is obviously on a very stone cold. He's endured the good fight. He knows what it takes to get to the top. Because this is also the ram energy. That's why you have to consider about the emperor. It's also about Aries. It's going for what you want. It's knowing what you need to do to succeed and going for it, not backing down, and knowing yourself. The emperor doesn't back down because they know themselves, and if they are a weak emperor, they don't last long. You have to think about like those who have been emperors or kings even. You have to consider in our historical aspect, in our history, like what are the great kings? And I keep hearing in order to be a leader or to guide others, you must have fallen first. You must walk the path that the commoners walk in order to be that of enlightenment. You can't walk a path or teach a path that you yourself have not walked, have not learned from. And so that is the lesson of the emperor. And the emperor is also about going for what you want, but not from a page, but not from insecurity, not from greed, because the emperor has to consider all what's good for his kingdom, the commoners, all aspects before he makes a choice. So this tells me that this is a time of reflection of what you want, that you really need to look into yourself as the emperor. Like Cancer right now, I'm seeing that you are the emperor, that you need to step up to your throne, that you need to take ownership of your throne, ownership of your own. The Four of Pentacles is reflecting on what you want, because oftentimes you really have to reflect on if you're being greedy, what you're keeping to yourself, what you're containing to yourself, what you're not sharing with others. And as the emperor, there are some things that you can share with others and some things that you need to keep secret. So this might be about materialism, keeping material aspects to yourself, not telling people what wealth that you actually have, and like maybe keeping some money like in a little dungeon that nobody knows until like you die, and then everyone discovers like you're a freaking millionaire. Like those stories you hear about like grandmas or grandparents, and I don't know how much they're true, but like they think like their grandparents or their mom or dad were like severely poor, and then they learn some deep dark secret like that they contained, that they were like living a secret life, or they're containing their wealth. And this can be about that you're containing your wealth, that you're not sharing yourself with others. There's some aspect of you in the shadow. In the shadow, this is about greed. This is about keeping everything to yourself. And so that can be the shadow of the emperor, the tyrant, because the emperor in the shadow self, it is the tyrant, where they're greedy. They make decisions out of selfishness, and in the end, it's what happens is their kingdom just falls apart because the choices they are making isn't to flourish their people, but it is to demolish them. You have to think about, like, are you containing yourself? Is it out of greed? Like, are you not sharing your resources because it's out of greed, because you want to keep it to yourself? Or is it also the Four of Pentacles containing your resources? It's about being frugal and having that wisdom with the emperor of when you need to take action and when you need to retreat. Being open about emotions, and this completely contracts. Maybe you have a contract. That's interesting. Contrasts, because the emperor with the Four of Pentacles tells me this is an individual that is very hard, that's very contained, that is very private, that is very secretive. And the fact that the Queen of Cups is coming along, maybe there is some sort of contract between you, like a secret contract, because the Four of Pentacles is about containment. Something is being contained, like your resources are being contained. Maybe your resources are being contained from you. Well, often this is an open cup, but often she has an enclosed cup, a closed cup. But this is someone that's open with their emotions. They have healthy emotions, like they have a healthy relationship with their emotions, where they're able to have that emotional stability. They understand feelings and emotions. Something being constrained from you. Materialism is something you feel there's a shadow side where you're constraining or you're being constrained. I'm just getting with the Emperor and the Four of Pentacles, this is the individual, this could be you or this could be someone else, but I feel like now that we have the Queen of Cups, you could be the Queen of Cups, because this is for Cancer reading. But also Cancer is the crab, and they can be very secretive when they're not open. And the Queen of Cups has the ability to go in and out with the waters, and she understands the flow of emotions and feeling her emotions, and that when she's in that darkness depths of the ocean, she doesn't define herself. So it's not about defining herself to the feelings, but moving through the emotions, moving through the darkness, moving through the shadows, and not being contained by it, where you become rigid. Because the Emperor versus the Queen of Cups, they completely contrast each other, because the Emperor is very like calculating, it's very cold, very methodical, is that the word? While the Queen of Cups is free, she's flowing, she's like a child, where she's able to move through her emotions, but it's not in the sense of like she's master emotions, but it's not in the sense of like she acts through her emotions as a child would, where they react, she responds. She's a master manipulator of her emotions. This could be the shadow of the Queen of Cups. What's funny about the Ten of Wands to me is that usually the tens in tarot, like all the other suits, tens, are like happiness. You get everything. Ten of Wands, 10 in the Wands is like, it's overbearing. Like you're taking all your shit and you're just like dealing with it, and you're taking it all on, and you're going through it. And it kind of gives me like the man who has the world on his shoulders. Like 10 of Wands goes with the Four of Pentacles, because you might feel like you have so many things to accomplish, or so many things to do, or so many things are putting on you that you have to constrain yourself. And that might be where the Queen of Cups and Four of Pentacles, where in order to move, in order to shift, in order to alchemize this stuck energy, or Mars 2024, for whatever reason, Cancer, you're in this like dark shadow. And so the advice is, in order to move through your emotions, in order to be free and have that flow that you naturally have the capacity to connect to as the Queen of Cups, as Cancer energy, you have to constrain yourself. You have to constrain your resources. You have to pay attention to what resources you are using. Just because you have all the resources, or even if you don't have a lot of resources and you feel like, oh, I don't have a lot, so what resources I have to like contain it. I have to take as much as I can from it because this is all I have. That might be actually the shadow of that you really need to work through in March to really have that freedom. Yeah, because I feel like you have so much on your plate in regards to like projects. And as the Emperor, there might be like so much that you have to do that you free yourself by constraining yourself, not letting anyone know of what you're up to. And that's actually going to free you more, and kind of going into your shell a little bit more, and making the appearance of you, of how you show up, your performance as the Emperor, of how you show up for the people, as very cold. But in reality, that's where your freedom is going to be in regards to people putting on too much to you, too much on you. The Ten of Wands is because the Queen of Cups is actually moving away from the Ten of Wands, which tells me in order to move away, you need to be in the Four of Pentacles, where you're constraining your resources, you're keeping your resources to yourself, or you're keeping something to yourself in order to be the leader that you need to be, that you need to perform as. This could be in a business, or really anything in regards to just like you showing up for the people. But your freedom as the Queen of Cups in your flow with the water energy is going to be to basically be greedy with your energy, be greedy where your energy goes to, and maybe even saying like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I mean, do you really need to take on all the Ten of Wands? Like someone that continuously keeps going to you for ideas or projects, or starting things with you, but you're the one that's completing the task. You're the one that has to complete them. You're the one. And the fact this card actually ended up between the Emperor and the Four of Pentacles tells me that this is someone that's like in your ear, or it's like the Emperor's like advisors, but you have to consider that the Emperor always goes with his own intuition. That he has advisors, but ultimately he has to make the decision from his own third eye, crown chakra, in regards to Swords energy. It's all about your own intuition, because Cancer is associated with the High Priestess. That is your archetype in tarot. This is someone that's like trying to put on projects on you in order to make you busy or something. So happiness, joy, coming together, completion. Often also the Four of Wands is about like marriage or combining families. In the Hierophant, that goes along with what I just said, because the Hierophant is about traditions, and also the Hierophant is in regards to bringing families together, marriage. So this is an ending, completion of something. But Page of Wands, this is someone that's childish, because when you think about, not childish, but like they are someone that is like adventurous, and they're spontaneous, and they have that young energy of a child, where they're exploring, where they're curious, they're still inventive, and so they have that framework as the Page of Wands to be spontaneous, while in the seat of the Emperor you might be constrained, you might not have that opportunity to show up to the public as the Page of Wands. You might feel like maybe in your private life you're the Page of Wands, where you're adventurous and you're free, but in your public you feel like you have to constrain parts of yourself. But I'm seeing that there is a coming together, a communion, a gathering, a celebration of people coming together, because anytime we have the Hierophant and the fact that there's the Four of Wands tells me there's like a coming together, a celebration, a wedding, something where there's like a public like recognition of endings in order, because the King of Cups is raising his cup, endings to begin something that, and Three of Wands is often something that we've already manifested and we're just waiting on it. We've already made the intention, we're just waiting for it to come overseas. Often it is connected with things coming to us from overseas, and we're just waiting for the boat to come in. We're waiting for the thing to come in. But you have to end something. You have to kind of just like give in. Like this is a collapse and just giving in to something. And I'm seeing it could be a celebration of the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups coming together through matrimony or something. But in regards to the Four of Wands with the Hierophant, this combination is actual guidance about spiritual growth, traditional values, and social harmony. So the Hierophant represents a structured system of beliefs and learning from the wisdom of the past. So the Hierophant suggests that following an established tradition, spirituality, or religious practice is essential for your growth and progress. And you might seek a spiritual mentor, priest, minister, or wise person who can help you navigate this journey. So it's that guidance. The Four of Wands often depicts a happy festive occasion such as a wedding or party. So this card can symbolize accomplished work and enjoying the fruits of your labor. This signifies the satisfaction of a job well done. But the combination with the Four of Wands and the Hierophant suggests that celebration will follow traditional practices and religious events. So you might actually attend weddings, christenings, or other traditional ceremonies. This can also indicate a promotion or graduation. So this combination suggests that traditional values, beliefs, or spiritual practices can lead to celebration, joy, and social harmony. Traditional values encourage the foundation of social harmony and joy, which leads to celebration. This combination also can signify a wedding or religious ceremony that reflects traditional values and beliefs. It can signify a presence of a religious leader or guide who blesses an event or provides spiritual guidance or approves of people coming together. The fact that, I just want to say, the fact that the Queen of Cups is walking away from the 10, you might be walking away from burdens and containing yourself. But with the Page of Wands tells me that there will be a sense of adventure, excitement, fresh ideas, cheerfulness, energy, fearless extroversion in March 2024 for you, Cancer. This is about enormous excitement and curiosity for the world. So when you get the Page of Wands, it simply just means that something within you, Cancer, is triggering you in March 2024 to make discoveries, indulge in investments, or take the next advancement in life, which can come in as coming together. I feel there's going to be like a spiritual, religious, very traditional, but it will still be it might be in a spiritual aspect if it's more free-flowing, but it's a coming together to celebrate something. And the fact that we have the Three of Wands and the Four of Wands, it tells me that you're waiting on something that finally comes, and when it comes, the Three of Wands turns into the Four of Wands, and so then this will bring, I don't know, something overseas, something from far away into your life. But you also have to watch out for like some sort of ending. We see the Ten of Swords, we see the Ten of Wands, which could be a risk of taking on too much. The Ten of Swords is just complete debilitation from your mind. So watch out for like literally burnout. That's what the Ten of Swords and Ten of Wands is indicating. That there's a potential for burnout. So again, I'm being pointed to constraining your resources either by not sharing as much of yourself to the world, and that will actually give you more freedom, ironically.